Hello, Trojan fans. Thanks for joining us here for an update with Director of Athletics, Brent Jones. And right now, we've just completed the regular season as well as postseason for men's and women's basketball. Take a look back at the regular season, though, Brent, when it comes to Trojan Arena. What was that like for both our men's and women's basketball teams in Trojan Arena this past year, and the fact that we were playing basketball with fans in the stands?
Well, first off, what an amazing experience to be able to have fans in the stands. Going back 6 months, going back 9 months, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to have games, events, let alone fans in the stands. But obviously, the NCAA mandate, no more than 25%. We were able to have that in Trojan Arena. We had very, very good crowds as part of that, staying within that 25%. I really feel like if you look at our men's schedule as well as our women's schedule, that a lot of our fans and students included that, as well as our pep band and cheerleaders, really willed our teams on to victory. So I really want to say thank you to our fans for showing up and buying the tickets as part of that. But, going back through the schedule, we didn't have to have any games canceled on our end because of COVID. And because of that, I want to be able to let our fans know how thankful I am for our athletic trainers, our medical staff, our head coaches, and our student athletes who had to follow a very, very deliberate and strict protocols to be able to play. And so that was hugely important for us to be able to keep them safe and healthy. And we didn't have any games canceled on our own initiative because of that. We did have 2 games canceled at home, 3 for men, 0 for women as part of that. And so it's exciting for us to be able to say that we completed a men's and women's basketball season. We did it the right way with our head coaches leading the way, with our student athletes, and with our fans. And it was a very productive season on the court, off the court, for both men and women.
On the men's basketball front, they had the 4th youngest program in all of Division I this past year. Coach Scott Cross and his team had a very young team, as we mentioned there. But as we look forward to next season, what do you expect to see from Coach Scott Cross and his program, and how they build upon successes from this past season?
I would tell you this: Coach Cross is a winner. Really be able to see him lay the foundation of success for what he was able to do out of conference as well as in conference this year. We won our first basketball game in almost 4 years in the conference tournament against a very, very good UTA team who was ranked 3rd in the SBC West as part of that. I would tell you this team plays extremely, extremely hard. We had about 8 different lineups that we used this year. At one point, if you look back at the season, we had 3 freshmen start during the season. And so you talked about how young this team was. I would tell you this: they play hard. Our fans saw it. The defense aspect, obviously, we're not where we want to be, but you can see the trajectory of where we're going and those steps that we're taking to get there as part of it. And just as part of this, to be able to win and make it to the quarterfinals of the SBC tournament, our leading scorer was a freshman that Friday night, and our second leading scorer was a sophomore. So I think the future is bright. A key pieces that he wants to move in for our team, we're excited about as well. But Coach Cross has really galvanized our fan base in Troy, and hopefully making this a basketball-centric town as well.
Talk about another team that's truly galvanized Trojan Nation. That'd be the women's basketball program and Coach Shanda Rigby and her squad there. We were all on the edge of our seats earlier this week, getting a chance to watch the NCAA tournament game. And no doubt our women's basketball team made us proud. Heartbreaking ending there for us. But talk about what it means for our women's basketball team, not just to go out and be Sun Belt Conference tournament champions, but to go out and put the SEC champions on the ropes up until the final buzzer.
Talk about a person who is galvanized, not only on campus, but off campus, but Trojan Nation. Shanda Rigby, all-time winningest coach. What she's been able to do here is simply outstanding. Too many times in social media references, we talk about the GOAT, the greatest ever, as part of this. And Coach Rigby is definitely up there. What I love about Coach Rigby is she's a winner in every aspect of life, not just in the game of basketball. And that's what she preaches to her student athletes as well as to her coaches. 22 wins in a pandemic, simply unprecedented what she's been able to do. She'll be the first one to say that she can't do it alone. Thank you to her coaching staff as well as to our amazing student athletes. Back-to-back Sun Belt Conference champions. Regular season last year, and then tournament champions this year. Simply outstanding. I just got back from Austin, Texas, where I spent 3 days out there with our women's basketball team, saw them go neck to neck with the 4th ranked basketball team in the nation. I know they were the 2nd seed. They got the number 1 2nd seed, but when the season ended, Texas A&M was the 4th ranked. And for us to be able to compete that first quarter, we were neck and neck. The second quarter, Texas A&M extended on us. And then Coach Rigby and what she does with our amazing student athletes, they changed the game plan at halftime and really went up tempo, fired it fun and gun, as you saw, and we dominated that 3rd quarter to come back from a 14-point deficit. And then we really won that 4th quarter as well. The last 2 minutes aside, I will tell you this. I am so proud of our student athletes. I'm so proud of our assistant coaches, so proud of Coach Rigby, and then our fans. We matched we had to travel a decent ways away. We matched exactly what they had as well. Only allowed to have 400 people in the gym or the Coliseum at University of Texas. We had just as many as Texas A&M, which is only a drive of about an hour and a half over. So I will tell you this. The future is bright for women's basketball. And I think every single person who has seen this program over the last 5 years has seen the trajectory of how we are proceeding. And, to be able to be this close to getting our first victory in the NCAA tournament, I couldn't be more thrilled for them.
Going back a few weeks to where both men's and women's basketball were in Pensacola, Florida for the Sun Belt Conference tournament. It alluded to the championship won by the women's basketball team as well as the victory for men's basketball. Talk further, though, about what that means for our fan base to be in Pensacola right here in our backyard of part of Trojan Nation and to have that tournament there for the next 4 years as well, too.
I'll tell you this, rave reviews from all of our fans, from all of our ticket holders who came down there, from our student athletes, from our coaches as well. We had a conference call with the Sunbelt Conference immediately following this. Rave reviews, have another 4 years at Pensacola. I think once we're able to get past the pandemic and past COVID, you're going to be able to see us really mobilize Trojan Nation even more. The panhandle of Florida is so crucial to what we're doing from a university standpoint and from an athletic standpoint. But we were very, very pleased with Pensacola. I can't wait for next year to be able to have our amazing cheerleaders, amazing pep band, our mascot, and really do this. But, we held numerous events down there. I went down there 3 days before, was able to meet with a lot of our great alums and sponsors and supporters. But on Saturday, we had, Kyle, 7,500 people at McGuire's in the back room, socially distanced, to be able to talk about what we're doing from an athletic standpoint, from a basketball standpoint. And then when our team was able to come out on Monday for Championship Monday and to be able to look up and to have it's tough on a Monday. You never know what you're going to get because people have to work. To look up into the crowd and have over 500 Trojan fans there was simply outstanding to be able to see us win the conference tournament championship.
Shifting gears a little bit now, football season, building towards the upcoming 2021 season. Spring practice is underway, but with that too, we had the annual T-Day game taking place on Saturday, April 10th. A big weekend taking place along with that, as both baseball and softball will be at home during that time period. Softball playing Louisiana, possible rankings of 2 top 25 teams there. Baseball hosting Texas State. Talk a little bit about that weekend and what it means just for Troy fans in general.
I'll tell you this, T-Day is always so exciting. We were not able to hold it last year as part of that. And so one thing that we will sort of talk about is the Hall of Fame banquet, which is not going to be on T-Day because of the pandemic and restrictions. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's going to be an exciting time to come on out there. All the events are outdoors. We're able to socially distance as part of it. Softball off to the best start in program history. What Coach Mullins, as well as her staff and then team, have done is simply outstanding. To be able to sweep the first 2 conference series, that's what you want. And so, last year when the season ended, we would have made the NCAA tournament, and that's where we were right there as part of it. And so she has really elevated our program and continues to do so. Baseball, to be able to have a baseball game, to be able to have football, to be able to have softball, it's It's extremely exciting to be able to get back to this. Our baseball team just defeated Georgia Southern, who had won 8 of the last 9 games. We took 2 of 3 for our first conference series. You always want to put your best foot forward as part of that. And so you really see our spring sports lining up extremely well. And I'm excited about that. We just had the highest finish we ever had for our indoor track, finishing 3rd in the conference, which we tied last year, but we scored almost as many. We scored way more points than we did the year before. So the trajectory of all of our sports, and we talk about our spring sports, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, but why they're so important is they didn't get to play last year. And so every single game is not being taken for granted this year. And you really see that from the Trojans putting their best foot forward each and every game, match, and set.
As we stay with football a little bit here as well, too, the upcoming 2021 football schedule has been released. It's online at TroyTrojans.com right now. Season tickets are being sold right now as well, too. And homecoming was recently announced as well for Saturday, November 13th, as the Trojans host the Raging Cajuns from Louisiana. Talk a little bit further about that schedule and the opponents coming here to Troy in 2021.
Well, Kyle, as you know, because you assist me in football scheduling, this schedule was a lot easier to put together than last year. We were at 197 different scheduling options as part of this. And I will tell you this, after the women's basketball game, I received text messages from the BYU AD and a few others that we worked with to get these games as part of this. And so you really see how everything is coming to fruition. But to talk about this schedule, this is one of the best schedules we've ever had. You look at, there's some really, really tough games. Southern Miss, Liberty, Louisiana Lafayette, App State, as well as Coastal. Those last 3 could be preseason top 25. The good news is we're able to get those, Louisiana as well as App State, at home this year, which is huge. We have a primetime Thursday night game versus Coastal Carolina. And then Liberty might be ranked as well. They finished right outside of the top 25 this year with Hugh Freeze and the renaissance that they've had up there. But I will tell you this, we also go on the road to South Carolina. And then we go on the road to ULM. We were not able to play ULM because of some of their COVID issues, and we had to cancel that game. So everyone's excited about it. What I'm really, really thrilled about is we get our first 2 games of the year at home. And so it's going to be special, especially now that we're going to honor the 2020-2021 Hall of Fame inductees in a banquet the Friday night before our first home game versus Southern University. So you want to talk about a great, huge weekend of what we're going to be having going on. That's going to be simply outstanding. It's going to be another anchor, very similar to how you have T-Day in the spring. You're going to have this opening weekend. It's going to be great. And so we're really excited about that.
Touch a little bit further on that, the opening weekend of how we got to having the Hall of Fame on Friday, September 3rd. As you said there too, the season will open on Saturday, September 4th against Southern University at the Vet. But now Hall of Fame in a new time slot, date slot there, if you will, than previous years in the past.
Well, obviously we have it in the spring every year. Last year we were unable to do that because of the pandemic. And then really this spring we're unable to do it because of the pandemic with the restrictions of being inside. So you look at it, the summer is an extremely tough time, not just to have all the inductees to come in, but to have our fans to really be able to honor and have a great crowd. And so one of the ways that we thought about, and looking at previous times, we've always tried to match up the Hall of Fame with the T-Day because it makes such a great weekend and people will come in as part of this. So we decided, we got with our senior staff and we really looked over this, and we met with some of the inductees as well. And so it's going to be Friday night before the game. What the great part about it is they're going to be honored twice. And so typically the Hall of Fame banquet it's a public deal, but you have to purchase tickets and you come in. We're also going to be able to honor them the following day, at Veterans Memorial Stadium, which we've never been able to do before. So by us moving it to the fall, we hope to be able to have 100% capacity in Trojan Arena for this event, which then leads into probably one of your next questions is, what does the capacity look like for Veterans Memorial Stadium? Which again, we're making plans to have full capacity. We'll work with state, local, ordinance, as well as our partners. If we have to go to 50 or 75%, we will have those plans that we will work on. But right now, as the vaccinations keep going up and the infection rate keeps dropping, we're making plans, just like everyone else is, of having 100% capacity in the fall. We will pivot if we need to do.
One final note to make sure I put in there as well too. Battle for the Belts against South Alabama. That's on Saturday this year, so I know fans will be very excited about that. So make your plans for Saturday, November 6th, but also all season long. You can get your tickets online at troytrojans.com/tickets. Those are on sale right now. And if you purchase by May 15th, you will also receive the commemorative mini helmet as this year's season ticket holder gift. Another change in direction here for us, though. The athletic department is embarking upon a new strategic plan and piecing together what that looks like for the foreseeable future as guidance for the athletics department here at Troy. Tell us a little bit further about what all will go into building out that plan and how that will serve as the pillars that guide the athletics department's vision for the foreseeable future.
Well, I'll tell you this, the previous plan was 5 years and really served us extremely well. And so we're spending since January, we're spending the next 6 months or so meeting with our constituents in small groups. We already started that with 2 different groups. And so we'll be reaching out to different parts. We're not going to be able to have every single person, but it's big for us to be as transparent as possible, to be able to reach out to our fans, to be able to hear from them. So from our student athletes to our sponsors, to our donors, to our season ticket holders, to our coaches, to our staff, to the city of Troy, to alumni all around. I want a working strategic plan. And this is going to guide us for the next 5 years from a macro level all the way to a micro level on what we want to be able to do. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about being able to really speak about our vision, about our future. Our future is so bright here. And I will tell you this, we do that. We have the ability to do this because of the amazing university that we get to work for, Troy University. Our fans, our alums are so passionate. We have some of the best student athletes around. And it's really because of the direction under our leadership of Chancellor Hawkins, Dr. Hawkins, and what he's able to do, not just from an athletic standpoint, but from a university standpoint. And so the partnership between the university and athletics is simply outstanding. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to work with a university that values athletics as part of this. And so we're excited about the plan that we're going to be able to launch, hopefully in August, after we speak with a lot of our constituents.
And finally, spring sports are underway right now. You talked a little bit earlier about how well those teams have been performing. Men's tennis is in double-digit wins already. Softball off to the best start in program history with 20-plus wins already. And Leanna Johnson seems to win a Conference Player of the Week award every other week there. Talk a little bit further about what all's going on right now with soccer and volleyball still playing in the spring, tennis, track, golf. A lot of events taking place right now, which is great to see all these events taking place for our student athletes.
Well, Kyle, you gave me a statistic 3 weeks ago that 13 of our 15 sports were in competition that week, which is simply outstanding when you think about it. Also, our cheerleaders are going to be in competition as they're going to be able to compete virtually for nationals as part of this. So I'm excited about where we are. But you look at our men's tennis, you look at our softball programs. Those are having two historic years we've never had before. The best program, they're off to the best starts of program's history. Our women's golf program has had some really top billing and some very, very tough tournaments. You see what our baseball program was able to do last weekend as part of a very, very good Georgia Southern team. You see track, you see men's golf, very excited about where we're headed. And then also soccer and volleyball are still being able to play and compete as part of this. We also have spring football going on. We have a lot of different competitions. And so I'm excited. The spring always reinvigorates a lot of people as part of this. And I think people see the end of that tunnel. Not saying we're past COVID, not saying we're past the pandemic, but you see a lot more optimism when I talk among our Sunbelt Conference ADs, when I talk among a lot of my friends in the Power Five that are ADs in the Group of Five. There's a lot more optimism going into the summer and to the fall. And I think you really see that with the renewed interest in college athletics. And so I'm so appreciative of our fans as well as our university support, because we would not be here without both of them.
Brent, thanks so much for the time today and all the updates about everything taking place here at Troy Athletics. Quite a bit taking place, and fans, you can be involved with that as well too. Become a member of the Trojan Warrior Club today. Be part of the Drive to 1887 as we increase our membership there. You can learn more by going online to troytrojans.com/drive to 1887. And again, football season tickets are on sale now. You can go online to troytrojans.com/tickets for more details there. Stay with us for future updates in the future. Thanks for all your support, and we'll see you again soon.